Persuasion.
Hi, I'm Stephen Muzi. It's nice to meet you.
Have a seat.
Thank you.
So let's get into it. Why did you apply for this position?
So I applied to be a sales associate at Mission Produce for a couple reasons. The first one being when I was in college, I took a lot of business classes for my ag business major, and my favorite ones were all the ones that related to sales. And I really enjoyed sales because I liked being able to take an idea or an object or product that I could try to persuade someone to believe in or to want or need. And I just really liked being able to like have someone see something from my point of view or see like this product in this way. And I really enjoyed that. And for Mission, specifically, the avocado and the global supply chain that it occupies seems like a really interesting product to be able to sell just because of how wide of a market that it sells to. It seems like something that'd be really interesting to sell. And also I've heard from friends that Mission has a really unique and friendly work environment that's very inclusive, which is very important to me when I'm looking for companies to work for.
Well, that's very true. Tell me about a time when you persuaded someone to do something.
So in high school I ran cross country, and I'm from South Orange County. So it gets really hot during the fall when you run cross country. And so one day we were running, it was like 100, 102 degrees, which is like terrible weather to be running in, no one wants to. But we would always race in that kind of weather, so you want to train how you race, right? And one day we were out running and no one wanted to run. Everyone was just running slow and they were complaining and didn't want to be there. And so my coach stopped us and she kind of gave the floor to me to say something because I was the team captain. And I looked at them and I said, raise your hand if you want to get beat at the last second of your race. And obviously no one raised their hand. And then I asked them, raise your hand if you want to beat someone at the last second of a race. And everyone raised their hand. And so I said, the person who's about to beat you ran today, and that's why they're going to beat you. And then after that we started running again and everyone ran great. But they just needed that little persuasion, motivation to like remember what was important.
That's awesome. Can you think of a time when you used probing questions to get someone to open up and have a good conversation with you?
Last year I was a camp counselor at a 6th grade camp. And I had a group of like 5 6th graders. But I had one kid named Sam who was really shy and not talkative. And on the first day I tried to make conversations with him, but he just didn't seem interested in wanting to hold the conversation with me, which was okay. But so the second day he wasn't feeling well, and so we went back to the cabin for him to rest and just relax so we could try to feel better. And I tried talking to him. He was still really quiet and didn't really want to talk. And so I just began asking him questions about like school and his family and things he liked to do. And like at first he was kind of hesitant, but the more questions I asked and the more he saw that I was interested and wanted to build like a friendship, he really opened up. And we actually played this game that he really liked, but I would never have known that because he was kind of closed off. But the questions I kept asking, like I think, just showed like my genuine interest in him and that I really wanted to get to know him.
That's awesome. Now, can you tell me, how do you organize and prioritize your work activities for the day, week, and month?
So normally, when I have a lot of stuff to do, which is quite normal, I try to put them into 2 categories, and then I kind of put those together. So my first one will be how important something is, because obviously the more important it is, you want to really make sure that gets done. And the second will be when is it due? Because if something's due quick, you want to get it done quick as well. And so I'll take all the things I need to do and I'll put them into those lists there of priority and then how much they're worth. And then from there I usually combine those lists and then try to make my schedule or my day, week, month around those to make sure I get things done as fast as possible and also make sure they're done well.
Awesome. And when were you most satisfied with what you were doing? When were you least satisfied with what you were doing?
So on the first one, I'm most satisfied As of late, I've been learning the piano, and before then, I've had no musical experience of any kind, so never played an instrument, didn't know how to read music. And so the first couple weeks, I learned the basics, just really learning the keys and what playing the piano really means. And I'm still learning now, but after a little while, I kind of learned the basics, so I wanted to learn my first song. And so I chose 1,000 Years by Christina Perry. And every day, pretty much every day, I practiced for an hour, and I did that for 2 weeks. Just every day playing the same song over and over to make sure I could get the song down. And the first time I played the song all the way through with no mistakes, that was a really good feeling. Because it was something I had just picked up and something that I had spent every day practicing. And it was just really satisfying to see my work that I had done and just see myself grow in something that I'd never tried before. That was a really good feeling.
That's awesome.
And then, least satisfied, I took a really hard math class in college, and I was studying and trying to do well in the class, but I still wasn't getting the results I needed, and that just wasn't a good feeling because I knew I could get a really good grade in the class, but I wasn't, and so I decided that I needed to put in that extra work in order to do good in the class. And I think that feeling of not being satisfied with what I was doing really motivated me and pushed me. And so I would always do the homework before the test, or when we had it assigned. But then before the test, I would also go over the homework again. So I would do the homework twice, just to make sure I'd always go into my office hours with my teacher, just to make sure I had everything down. But it was that feeling of not being satisfied with my grade that really pushed me, and so with all that extra work I did, I ended up getting the grades I wanted, and my least satisfying moment that I had turned into a really satisfying moment because that motivated me to do better.
Oh, that's awesome. That's all we have for today. Thank you so much for coming in.
Okay, thank you.
Have a great day.